Coming up.
Nobody said you have to have a big wedding. That has never been said. If you can afford it, it's fine. But if you cannot, even 4 people, just you and your witnesses, is enough.
And then,
When I was looking for a home, I told God, I promise you, give me this house. I will build a special place for you. A place where I can pray, a place where I can think.
later,
Since he's the thinker, he handles all our finances. Mine is to say, I need money for nails. I need money for Sukuma Wiki. I need money for this. And it works perfectly for me. So I don't have to worry about what's in the account. Let him worry about it.
For many couples, divorce is not an easy thing to go through, and most people lose hope of ever finding love again. But for Janet and Will Omido, hope was born again the moment they met each other and fell in love, and later on tied the knot. This couple has managed to navigate through the painful experiences to currently become the epitome of opulence.
Been married for about 20 years to my lovely husband, Will Omido.
Married to this lovely, beloved wife of mine. I've enjoyed all the time that we have been together. And I keep enjoying it, looking forward to more great years together. She was working for a company that did business with us, with the company that I was working for then. And we hit a rapport. I mean, we talked. I mean, those were the days when, the cell phones were not quite available. So, I mean, it was the days that if you had to ring, it had to be a landline. And you had to sort of go through many people to talk to somebody. And I guess, from those early days, she was a charming lady, and I was on the lookout. So one thing led to the next one, and then here we are.
We walk down the memory lane of Janet and Will's wedding as they share with us a few nuggets of wisdom from their 20 years of marriage.
It was, at a point when you feel that you're doing a lot by yourself. And, I had a decent job, a decent life. And I guess at that time, excuse me, I guess at that time what was just missing was, somebody to share a lot, of what was happening with. And, we used to talk a lot on phone and share a lot of our experiences, and then it used to be once in a while, and then it started to become a little more often than just once in a while. And then it just almost followed naturally that this was going to happen. And you get to a point in life where you're feeling you're sharing so much with somebody, in so many different ways, and some of the things that you don't ordinarily share with people. Guys are a bit more reserved, I would say, than the ladies, and therefore once you find, I think that you're able to share that much more with somebody, you start to feel maybe there's something else happening here. And so I guess it led to the more obvious.
It's been a long journey when we met in Kenya, those many years back. We were actually good friends. We didn't just become lovers as such. We started off as good friends. We were very, very good friends, and later on became husband and wife. But our relationship is not based on love. It's based on friendship. So love came afterwards. On the
Yeah.
phone, he sent me a text message. I was in the States then. And he sent me a text message, will you marry me? And I was like, yes, we'll marry. And it took me a while to respond because I was typing so many yeses. Huh? Yes, 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 yes. And according to him, I think he was figuring out she did not accept my proposal. So I kind of got disappointed. Then the text messages came with the yes, 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 so about 20 or 50 of them.
There was so much that we shared, in those days, and I thought, why keep it so separate? Why keep it so far? I mean, why can't we just be together? And then I thought, maybe if I talk about it, you know how it is. You're trying and you're thinking, maybe if I say it, will I handle a no? And then I thought, no. Let me use some technology, see if it works, so that it lessens the punch if it comes to that. But luckily, it went right.
We'd both gone through quite a lot of different situations. We'd both been married before. And so we'd shared quite a bit about our marriages, our challenges, our good times, our bad times. And of course, just knowing that somebody who I've shared so much with has asked me to marry him, for me was very special because I knew I was marrying somebody who actually does know me, knows my challenges, knows my good days and my bad days. So I was excited. I was happy to finally have a soulmate, somebody to laugh with, somebody to have a shoulder to lean on, somebody to just be my friend. Just be my friend. That was special to me.
The experiences of their past marriage brought them together, and despite the fact that they were countries apart, they became great friends to the point where they felt that it was necessary to take the next step, which was marriage.
We used to talk a lot on phone and share a lot of our experiences, and then it used to be once in a while, and then it started to become a little more often than just once in a while. And then it just almost followed naturally that this was going to happen, and you get to a point in life where you're feeling you're sharing so much with somebody.
And we're getting older, not younger. Yeah, so it's like, okay, it's either we continue this friendship. That's when I looked at it in that way. When he proposed, I'm getting older, not younger. And of course, there's no time frame when you should get married. You can get married anytime. But for me, it was like, I'm always spending these days alone, mostly on the phone with him. Why not spend my life with him? Since it looked like we actually lived together, apart from being separate countries, different cities, but our lives were so much the same.
Unlike many couples who dream of having a grand wedding, this down-to-earth couple settled to have 2 civil nuptials, one in the U.S. and the other in Kenya, coupled with a traditional wedding just to ensure that their marriage is valid. They later plan to do a small, simple, and intimate nuptial, though they apparently haven't settled on the date yet.
He came to the States and we went to get married at the Santa Ana Attorney General's office. Lovely. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. It was a simple, beautiful, perfect wedding. I mean, nothing could have been more perfect than that wedding. It was so nice. It was very few people, just our close friends. His brother was our best man and his wife was our matron of honor. And then my brother was there and a few friends who'd been in California with me for so many years. And just went there, had our nice registration, danced our sukuti there. Of course, we can't miss a sukuti there. We danced sukuti a little bit. Then went to the Anaheim White House for the reception, and the day was over. It was just simple, but very beautiful and memorable.
Very elegant, small, as she says, very few friends and relatives, but just because it was few people and very
Very intimate.
and very intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the word. It made it easier, I think, for the planning and for it to come out very, very elegant. It came out very, very nice. It was nice. I remember it, just kind of flowing, throughout the exercise, and friends and even people who didn't know us, just looking out, all very happy for us, and I think more like just an American way. I think generally they can be very friendly, so it was really a friendly atmosphere, very exciting, and the people who watched us dancing sukuti on the in the public areas, very looked at it, and it was really fun. It was different, and therefore people would stand and look at us and clap and just made for a whole new different experience.
If I was to do it again, I think I'd do exactly the same thing. It was really nice. I wore a off-white cream long dress with lace at the back. Actually, I was doing that dress as a gift. Yeah, one of my church ladies was getting married and said, "Here's a designer dress. I've never worn this dress before, but I want you to wear it." So since it was designer and that's what I wanted, I gladly accepted it. Because I knew it was a civil marriage, I did not think I was going to wear a wedding dress. We're not going to church. We're going to do a civil wedding first. So it was not going to be a wedding gown.
In the public areas, very, looked at it, and it was really fun. It was different. And therefore people would stand and look at us and clap and just made for a whole new different experience. Not, it didn't look too formal, it looked very well put together. So it was different.
Because I've seen many people get into weddings that are very expensive, and then you end up with so much debt that you start your marriage in debt because you're trying to do something for others. I'd actually recommend people to, if they can, even if it's not a church wedding, of course, I would highly recommend church wedding. Even if it is small, 4, 5, 6 people in church, nobody said you have to have a big wedding. That has never been said. If you can afford it, it's fine. But if you cannot, even 4 people, just you and your witnesses is enough. I've seen people have weddings. You invite all these guests to come. Not many appreciate your wedding, not knowing how much money you've put into that wedding. And when we walk out in the evening going to our homes, we leave you with the debts. And some of us not really appreciating what you put in the wedding. You has that big Princess Diana wedding, and you has that 2, 3, 4 people wedding. At the end of the day, you are all married. That is the simple thing. Just be married and be happy. There's no gold medal for someone with a big wedding of 1,000 people, or a bronze for somebody with 4 people. So just get married, cut your cloth cut your coat according to your cloth. That's what I would advise. We are not any less married because we had a few people in our wedding compared to somebody who had 1,000 people. We are all very much married.
In any relationships, in marriages specifically, is the financials. Yeah, that's where all the trouble begins. Yeah, and therefore it's important, I think, that people appreciate that the wedding is just an event. It's just a one-day thing, and then you move on. What happens from then thereafter is what's important, especially for the two of you and the family that you're going to bring up.
Yeah, if you can afford it, do it. Because every girl wants a beautiful wedding. But if you can't afford it, don't kill yourselves. Don't start your marriage in financial stress. It is not even really worth it. It's not. Again, simple wedding. His brother was the best man. My sister was the matron of honor. And that was it. We went, had the wedding, the marriage there, went to Palasina for lunch, went back to the office. End of story. And again, it was valid. The marriage is very much valid. We just had to make sure that, with these laws nowadays, you never know if somebody says we don't recognize California or whatever. We just didn't want anything with our marriage. We'd been together for so long. Wanted to make sure all the laws are respected wherever we are. If it's America, it's done. If it's Kenya, it's done. That's why we did it. And we also, of course, did our traditional marriage, dowry at home in the village. So we just wanted to make sure everything was neatly tied in a beautiful bow. And that's what we did. We're still looking to do one more wedding, but going to be a small one. I'm Catholic. My husband is working on his getting himself in the Catholic Church fully, though he attends Mass at Catholic Church. And we would want our marriage to be blessed in church. So once he finishes his classes, we will get married in the Catholic Church.
Coming up next.
He handles all our finances. Mine is to say, I need money for nails. I need money for sukuma wiki. I need money for this. And it works perfectly for me.
Janet and Will's greatest challenge, like many other couples, was to find a compromise on their diverse personalities. While Will is quiet and reserved, Janet is outgoing and a risk taker, and she has learned to let her husband be in charge of most of the affairs in the house. Moreover, the two run a company together, and they found it hard to strike a balance between the different roles that work and family had.
She's the noisy type. I am the quiet type.
Can you define that noisy?
You just saw that. I don't need to do any more definition than that. I think, yeah, she's the more outgoing type, and I am, the type that would want to sit back, maybe go over stuff a lot more, analyze stuff a lot more. She's the more instinctive type that, something comes and she'll be, we're in, and I'll be thinking, hey, just hold on right there. We need to think this through and so on.
Which can be very frustrating. Like, I'm the kind of guy, like he says, rightfully, that person, I can see something and make a decision right on the spot, where he wants to sit and think about it for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, maybe. In my mind, I'm like, it's so simple. What are you thinking about? This is not rocket science. Really, come on. There's no exam to this thing. Let us get this decision done. But he's the kind of person who wants to think about it, take time. But I'm a risk taker. He's not. And that sometimes creates challenges whereby I want an answer like now. And he's like, can I think about it? I'm like, no, you cannot think about it. So that creates challenges for us. We work in the same office, the same building. So that can be a challenge in that sometimes, again, at a place of work, maybe he wants something done. He's the managing director. I'm the executive director. The ball stops with him. But at times I'm like, you know what, you have to do this way. And he's like, no, you can't do it this way. So when are you a managing director? When are you an executive director? When you're a husband or you're a wife? So that also can be a challenge. We can be at a board meeting and be discussing stuff, and we go at each other, forget husband and wife stuff. And we have now to come back again and remember at the end of it all that we are husband and wife. So it does work. We never bring work home. We never bring our differences home. And we are able to agree or disagree on how to run the business at the table and leave it there.
Mm-hmm. Once we leave the office, once we lock up that door, that's it. Yeah. As we are leaving, we drive together. We come home together as much as we can. And throughout those periods, we'll be talking about different stuff.
What we've done is put all our accounts together, all our monies together, and because he's more of a he's a thinker. Like we said earlier, I don't think. I can buy and do what I need to do. But since he's the thinker, he handles all our finances. Mine is to say, I need money for nails, I need money for sukuma wiki, I need money for this, and it works perfectly for me. So I don't have to worry about what's in the account. Let him worry about it. I have my credit cards, I have debit cards. Both are in both our names. So I know what he's buying. He knows what I'm buying. There's nothing to hide. With our finances, we are as open as can be. If you want things to work out in your marriage, be open with your finances. Otherwise, you are just doomed to collapse. If I start having my own accounts in the different addresses and different stuff, like some people have tried to do, then you're asking for trouble. And then you're always looking over your shoulder. What does he know? When is he going to find out about my little account? I don't have to worry about that. I let him run the finances. If I want money for something, I say, you know what, I need money for A, B, C, D. If it's there, he'll say, sure, why not? If not, he'll say, can we wait for 1, 2, 3 days, a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever.
The fact that Janet and Will were both career people, they, in addition, struggled to find time to spend with each other, something that they had to find a fast solution to.
Always there to support one another. And thank you for being there for me. And I truly love you.
Me too. We enjoy the laughters. We laugh a lot. We laugh so much. I think we can laugh at anything, even at a fly. We laugh at anything, anytime. We're always laughing. And that's what our friendship keeps us going all the time.
We have long, long days. She has a long day. I have, stuff the whole day, the whole week, almost through and through. Yeah, right up to Sunday sometimes having to work. So the first challenge that we always have is trying to juggle the job so that we can get time together, so that we can get quality time together. So for me, that's always the biggest. So we try as much as we can to have our meals together, try and ensure that every so often that we can have a meal out together, just sit and chill out and be able to share and, just take it all. Biggest challenge, in the way that I see it.
Coming up next.
A friend of mine once told me that the most difficult project that an architect has to put together is a family home.
One of the climax of their marriage is their sanctuary home where Janet and Will enjoy each other's company. This couple is living large in their Muthaiga home, which has sweeping views of Karua Forest, equipped with every luxury ranging from a beautiful chapel, a swimming pool, exclusive lounge where the couple retires to when they desire some peace and quiet all by themselves.
A friend of mine once told me that the most difficult project that an architect has to put together is a family home, because there is what the man thinks, the man wants in the home. There's what his wife wants also, and then there is what the kids want, and then there is him as the architect who has to put together, who has his ideas also that he wants to put in place. And to put all that together is always a challenge, because, all of us have this dream sort of home in our minds, and, of all these ideas, and, some of the things can actually be put together and put on paper. Some of the things are a lot more difficult to put together. But what happened obviously was the architect was a good friend of ours. Having traveled, having seen a lot of places and so on, does help in terms of just what would you want to have, and therefore during our travels, during our various exploits, she would tell me the kind of things that she would want to see, and as much as possible, that's part of what I was trying to put together in terms of the brief to our architect to put together, and a number of things after that. She had also very interesting ideas that she wanted incorporated, but she didn't know how they were going to be put together. All she would do was, I need something like this. That's what I want to have in this. So make sure it's there. So that was a challenge that I kept having. But the beauty about it was it also gave me a different perspective, in terms of what's the direction that we were taking with the architects, that I would come up and then say, hey, this doesn't sit quite well. And therefore, what can we do to accommodate this and that? And it was very interesting, as they say, the planning stages are always the most challenging, and if you can put a lot of work during that time, during the drawings, because typically what the architects would do is they would, put up the first drafts, send them over to you with a lot of color, and you look at it and you're excited. And you think, this is it, looks very nice, and they put a few descriptions here. And for most of us, because of our different backgrounds, don't appreciate the drawings that much, and you agree, and that's it. And the next thing is it's given to the junior architect, and he works with you. Not that the junior architect is bad, but that means that in terms of ideas, new ideas, or incorporating a lot of ideas in the project, it's limited. Because a lot of times we don't appreciate space, because it's on a drawing. Yeah, many of us do not appreciate how much space that is, especially the ladies, they want to have a lot of space in the kitchen. And where they've been staying, the kitchen was only this size, and they are told, this is twice the size of your kitchen. Yeah, and then you feel, wow, I'm going to have double the space, so it's going to be a lot of space. Then I was happy at the time that the construction started. Also, what happened is she then had to do some stuff in the States for a year, and during the formative stages, and therefore we would talk, send us some pictures, and it helped in driving the program. We'd go there and see also some homes again, go to open house and see what's happening and incorporate ideas.
We're not out, dinners out and lunches and that kind of stuff. Somehow we just never managed to like that life. We rarely go out. Even actually this year went out maybe for dinner, have we? I like home. I from work, I just want to come home. I don't want to go out for a dinner or for a lunch or what. I just like to be home. We enjoy having a cup of tea out in our yard. We love to just have our dinners at home, take a shower, watch a movie at home. We just find it so much easier, so much simpler. And that's how we live. Enjoy home. We enjoy home. And for us, our home is a sanctuary. If it's company, I enjoy my husband's company. He's my best friend. I enjoy that. And there's nothing else I want to do out there. And of course, I'll have to give credit to my husband because most of the work that went into this house was by his efforts. The making sure things are right, things are aligned, the walls are straight, the floors are straight, everything, the structures are firm as they should be. All that was his. Mine was just a few things he'd ask me here and there. What do you think? What do you think here and there? Even the architect himself who drew this house, I don't think would know what went where. So the credit for this house went to him. And of course, I was in the background a lot. He was at the forefront of it all. Towards the end, about 3 months before we moved into it, when I said, you know what, let me help out a little bit to just try and fast forward it. This is our special lounge. This is a lounge that's just for me and my husband. It is out of bounds for everybody in this house. It's a place we just come and relax, a place that we just find some peace and solace and watch movies if we want to. It's a place we can come in with our pajamas if we want to and don't have to go downstairs. We're able to make a cup of tea here, simple breakfast or just a snack. So this is a place that's just our place and nobody else's place.
Far away from everybody else, you know, just our space. Just the house is generally quiet, but sometimes you just need a place, a kind of retreat. And this for us is the retreat. Also, sometimes just sit and
enjoy the view.
Enjoy the views outside.
You're welcome to beautiful view of Karura Forest. Just nice place. Enjoy it. I love shoes. Any chance I get of buying shoes, I do. Any colors, if it is yellow, I'll find the shoe. Then I'll find an outfit to go with it. If it is pink, if it is gold, whatever shoe, it doesn't matter what brand it is, I just love shoes. So shoes are one of my weakest points. I think at this point, at this moment, I have about 500 pairs, which I do love, and I'm still collecting. I want to get to 1,000. So 500 and growing. And not necessarily designer shoes, just shoes. I just love shoes. Yeah, that's my weakness. Yeah.
Did you also influence Will?
Yes, I've actually tried to influence him. So far, he has one row. He has 2 rows. So he's doing pretty good. He has 2 rows, so he's doing pretty good. And for him, if he gets to about 50 pairs, he'll be fine. So for he's doing good.
He's doing good.
Yeah. Welcome to my chapel. This is a place that I say my prayers, the place that I thank God for my life, my family, and all that I have. The idea behind this chapel, when I was looking for a home, I asked God to listen to me, to hear my prayer. And we looked for so many places for a home and were not able to get what we wanted. And during the clashes, 07, 08, my husband and I went to Mara. And when we were to Mara, I saw this small clip in the newspaper. And I told God, I promise you, give me this house. I don't know what it's all about. Give me this house. And if you do give me this house in Muthaiga, that's been my dream, I will build a special place for you. A place where I can pray, a place where I can thank you for who I am and what you've given me. So when we got this place in Muthaiga, because it's a covenant between me and my God, I went ahead and made sure there was a chapel in this house. And thus we have a chapel in this house, something that I promised God and something that I'm glad to say I have delivered.
Luckily for us, when we started to build, we were able to incorporate this place in our designs, and just a little place where we can come and have our quiet moments with our Lord.
I always have fresh flowers in my home. I change them once a week. to make sure that when you walk in their home, there's something fresh and lovely to look at. So this is my hobby, arranging flowers and just experimenting with different things, different arrangements, bring some warmth and love into the home.
This is pretty much our gym, and this is pretty much what we have here. And yeah, we like it. So when we're on, the music is on, and really just a lovely place actually to be, because we also like the views out here. Yeah, so pretty much that is it.
It is in this house, too, that Janet's daughter, Valentine, who apparently was from her previous marriage, was prepared on the day of her nuptial. Valentine's union brought Janet and Will even more closer, being that Janet was the official wedding planner and had to rely on Will for support. They also had to involve her ex-husband in the whole affair for Valentine's sake, since she was his daughter.
It was very, very exciting to plan Valentine's wedding. At the same time, challenging, because she lives in the States and I'm here. So trying to put what she wants in place with the distance was not that easy. So what I decided to do was just do what I wanted to do. It was, I'm just gonna do the wedding my way, and I'll tell you what I'm doing and tell me if that's right or wrong. So that's the genesis of how her wedding was planned. And because I'm a professional planner myself, I did not want to engage a planner. I figured I could do this on my own. Now I'm wondering if it was a good idea, because it was challenging. Being the mother of the bride, and again being the planner, it took an emotional toll on me. Trying to make it as perfect as I could for her. So from the word go, to the very last day, to the time she stepped into this house after the wedding, I took charge of every single thing. Even when she came in the country a week prior to the wedding, she had no idea what was going where. And that was stressful, but at the same time, so much fun. Doing it with so much love, knowing it I'm doing for my child. It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
2-3 weeks afterwards, I was having issues with my cable, my satellite dish. So he came to the house and he helped us get our satellite TV on. From there, he came back like 3 times. Slowly by slowly, something, relationship built from there.
We didn't plan anything together. I planned everything myself with my husband and Valentine, and she did herself again with her dad on the other side. But because at the end of the day, we all knew this was about Valentine and Thomas. And once we all understood that, it was very, very simple to play your role. If all of us know what our roles were, and just stick to them. So I did all the plans of everything, of course, the support of my husband, but we did not plan that, we are going to say this or do whatever. Everything just went seamlessly. I believe we're all matured. We've all moved on. I'm remarried. He's remarried. I'm happy. I believe he's happy. And there was nothing else to fight about or argue about. It was just about Valentine and Thomas. End of story. I have no grudge against him. I've got no grudge against his wife or his kids. Love his children. Met them for the first time, such wonderful little darlings. And it was nice. It was really, really nice. It was nice just to be mature and do the right thing for Valentine and Thomas. We had a rehearsal on Friday with myself and her dad, and of course with my husband and her stepmother behind. I insisted to have my husband in the lineup because without him, I don't think I'd have pulled off this wedding. He was a very strong force also behind it. He gave me 100 and whatever percent just to make sure it is fine. And he's also not only supported this planning of the marriage, but also Valentine's life. In so many things he has been able to support here and there. So it is only fair also to give him the respect that he deserved on this particular day. We wish people well. Yeah? You wish people well in whatever that they're doing. If I've moved on, very good, you've moved on, fantastic. You're happy, I'm happy.